afternoon. I just posted a live video of me in the bathtub announcing my presidential election, or running, announcing my running. Like and subscribe. Anyway, I was just I'm 50 minutes into this concrete interview of Mark. I'm getting to know Mark. He called me whenever I was on my way home from the cemetery. And I had posted a 30-second video that was horrible. It's on YouTube. But I didn't think it was very good. It got 1,000 views or something. And he called me, and it was, I'm driving. It's 42 minutes home. And I see Los Angeles, California. Now, my phone never rings. No one ever wants to talk to me. I'm very isolated. My family, my sister and my mother, they both think that I don't want to talk to them and don't love them. And I just, I'm very pleasant in person, and I'll talk to them anytime that I am available. But what was I? Oh, so Mark, my stupid 30-second video was like, I'm a weirdo, call me or check my shit out. And it's like, what is my shit? And no, I'm just hoping that his assistant is going to my Facebook and my YouTube and watching my videos, but it might not be. Anyway, I've got other plans, I'm going to start a campaign, of course, with, right now I just have a few dollars. So I'm going to make some ads, try to sell some fuck shirts. That's how I want to become president, selling fuck shirts. I want 100,000 people walking around with fuck shirts, and, it won't even say vote for me. It'll just say fuck, and everybody will know. That's Patrick. Anyway, I answered the phone. Los Angeles, nobody ever calls me. Holy shit, what the fuck? Just got back from this, on my way back from the cemetery. I want to get a beer and just... Hey, this is Mark. We talked for 10 minutes. And he's like, tell me a story. I was really tired. I had... What? Was that Chainsaw Day? That was a Chainsaw Day. Yeah, I was... no, that wasn't a Chainsaw Day. That was a burial day? That was a short day. Just a 450-pounder in a pine box. It was really strange. That was a strange day. There's a vortex at the cemetery, and I'm not the only one that says it. Anyway, gotta stop saying that. Anyway. My story was abbreviated because he's like, I'm a very busy person. And I was like, I understand you're a very busy person. I'm a very busy person too, man. I gotta get home and drink a beer. No, I didn't say that. Time is money. So I told him, like, the first thing that comes to me is, I have to make sure it's recording. I know I started it. I know I saw the red thing. Why? Hey, I don't want to waste time. That's it. It's like, it was easy to check. I need a mirror behind the camera so I can see what's going on with you, iPhone. I told him the story about I was in Roosevelt Junior High. I was in Catholic school up to 6th grade, and then I went to Roosevelt Junior High, 7, 8, half of 9th, then Hollidaysburg Junior High, half of 9th, Hollidaysburg Senior High, 10th, Central High School, 11th, Altoona High School, 12th. So it was in between I had moved from my mother's house because my mother was... It's weird. She was strict but loose. Strict but loose. Like really strict. And really loose. And my father was... Well, he didn't have to be strict because you didn't mess with him. Because if you messed with him, he'd rip your head off and shit down your neck. So the strictness with him wasn't an issue. He was much more fun. Way more fun. A ton of fun. Like... the most fun dad ever. So whenever I started Roosevelt Junior High, I wanted to, really impress my dad, and I tried out for football, and I got in, and I got tackled, and I got a concussion, and I was like, fuck this. No, I like my brain. Thank you very much. And I quit playing football, but I still wanted to be a badass and, be able to kick out, I wanted to. I asked my father how to fight, and the only things he showed me were how to, kill people. And I was like, I can't use that in a fight. So I joined the wrestling club, or whatever it's called, because they fight and they don't kill people. But I was a little chubby at that point. So I was transitioning, puberty. I'm a little chubby right now. I feel awful. I'm about 15, 20 pounds overweight. I've really, there's been a super amount of stress in my life, and Ben and Jerry's is probably, weed. Well, the most problematic. Alcohol, Ben and Jerry's, and then weed. Man. I'm going to drink a beer. Hold on. For this evening's interview, I drove to Fresh Time in Pleasant Hills, where I was sexually harassed by a cluster B deli bitch. Rogue. Bat Squatch, like Sasquatch, only Bat Squatch. I tasted it one before. It's very fruity. This is bad medicine. Where was I? Dad? Okay. So, I was wrestling, and it's gay. It's gay. And my father was a Dallas Cowboys fan, not some gay fucking wrestling fan. That's like Hulk Hogan. Whoo! But so he didn't come to the matches or anything, and didn't give a fuck. And he's like, ugh. And then, I made a friend with the wrestler, the wrestling team. Can I use his name? Does it matter? First name, fine? Fuck it. John. John and I, he wasn't really into he was chubby too. No wonder. Okay, if you're a little bit overweight in wrestling, you're gonna get shit on. You have to be skin and bones, or forget it. You're gonna get fucked if you're not skin and bones, which is weird. Sumo, yeah. No, there's no happy place for me to wrestle. So John and I, we didn't really like the discipline in the wrestling. Well, I was not opposed to discipline. I was fine with discipline. It's just it sucked, man. I was a little chubby, and it was like the girls didn't seem to be liking the wrestlers. They liked the football players, and we started skateboarding, and I was really good. I was one of the first people that could do kickflips on planet Earth. Did you hear that? Huh? I was one of the first people. I mean, my guess. If I could guess how many people were doing kickflips, 3,000? That's probably like 3,001. That's a fairly high number, but the amount of people that can do a kickflip now, I'm guessing, is like 300,000. So I was one of the first people on planet Earth to be able to do a kickflip varial, shove it, ollie north. I was a street skater, Didn't really understand the G's of the bull. Well, I would have gotten it, but I just didn't want to spend the money. The street was free. And pierced my ears behind my dad's back, which was really high risk. Grew my hair long, and I was a punk, I was like, these are my people. The wrestlers, not my people. Football players, definitely not my people, though. Go Steelers, please vote for me, like and subscribe. So John and I, he invited me over to spend the night, and I was like, hell yeah. And every time I spent a night at anyone's house or anyone spent a night at my house, it was all about sneaking out and causing fucking teenage chaos. So I was dating this girl. I don't even think I kissed her. She was just my girlfriend. I was shy. And she dumped me whenever I transitioned from wrestler to skater. And I was pissed, man. I felt betrayed. I felt abandoned. I was like, I'm still the same person. Absolutely the same person. The only difference is I'm not a wrestler. I'm a skater. So I was real pissed, and I had plans to fucking express myself in an antisocial way. So I went over to John's house, and his mother went to sleep, and I don't know, I'm guessing 11 or something. And he's like, Robert, come here. And he has this dog. I don't remember exactly. It wasn't big, huge. And he pulled the dog on its belly and then got his finger and put his finger in its vagina. So I watched him do this. And I didn't want to make him feel bad, but it definitely felt like not the right thing to do. And I was like, okay, well, I got condoms. My cousin, I got him to buy me condoms because I'm too embarrassed to buy them. And I want to put them on the doorknobs of this bitch that broke up with me because I'm skating. As I recall, she was very cute. They've all been very cute. Even the ugly ones. So we snuck out. And I did what I said I was going to do. I took the condoms out of the wrapper, put them on every doorknob on our house, and we went back to John's house. And I was like, they're going to wake up in the morning and open the door and go to shut it and see a condom and not know if it's used or not and be completely grossed out. They're probably going to have to fucking get a handyman in there at $10 an hour and replace other doorknobs because nobody wants to touch the doorknobs again because it's like, gross. And so egging, that causes damages. Toilet paper, takes but a condom on a doorknob, it's like, what are the damages? God, I was good at a young age. Don't fuck with me. Rogue. So we went back, and I showed her. And we came up on his house, and the lights were on. And terror, absolute terror, beyond terror. Like, I don't know. There's feelings in here. Like, it stopped. It was like I could feel it again, but it would have to be like an asteroid or a fucking nuclear bomb cloud to get this feeling that I had so much in high school, and probably whenever I was 0 to 4, 2. Probably was constant terror. He's a psycho. I mean, I don't remember, obviously, but like his biggest fear that I was going to be a pussy. So picture what a psycho would do to a 2-year-old who he's like, you're getting too much influence from your nurse mom that's a super empath. And, he wants to make me tough. Oh, God. Ooh. 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 What did he make me do? So we got in, and his mom's awake, and we're like, oh shit, and he's getting like probably grounded for 2 days. And I was like, please tell me you didn't call Wayne. She called Wayne. He was on his way. 10 minutes. Oh, like lava. And then nausea. I get in the car, and he's not saying much. He's usually, he's cool, like the coolest. And then like rage, like Satan, like you're scared to even look his direction. You don't want to, you don't want to like blink wrong because he'll knock you upside the fucking head or something. And he's like, what did you do? And I told him the story. And he's like, What did you do? And I told him the story. And he said, if you lie to me, it's going to be worse. And I said, I'm not lying to you. And he said, this is your last chance. If you want to go and do drugs and get raped. No, he didn't say that yet. He was quiet till we got to home, beside Prospect Park, where it was really, I had sleep disturbances. I've had sleep disturbances my whole life. I would wake up and watch Star Trek in the middle of the night and sneak his booze. And I could see through the window Prospect Park. I could see people fucking. This is great entertainment. What a wonderful place. And it was a very awesome view of the, I forget what the mountain range is called, but it's a long, big one. Brush Mountain. That was my bedroom on the top of the mountain, on the top of the house. It was a beautiful view. So he's really quiet, and that was super scary. And he walked up the porch, opened the door, and went in the house. And I was behind him and wondering what the fuck is going to happen. Why isn't he screaming? Why does he say that I was doing drugs when I'm not doing drugs? I'm obviously not on drugs. I haven't done drugs yet. I mean, except for the drugs he gave me. Alcohol and nicotine. And I opened the door to go in, and he was standing there at the entrance. And I went to walk in. He was quiet, and he did this. Whoa! On my ears. Whoo! Just like that. It was like not hard. It wasn't like a bam. It was a slap right here, and like cupped hands, and the cupped hands made a perfect shape like this. When he got into my ears. Pop! Everything went white. Yeah. And I wake up, and he has me by the neck, and he's slamming my head against a fucking pillar. I'm 1 foot off the ground. And I look over, and I can see my fucking neighbor come out the door, open the door, and then shut the door. And then he one more whack against the pillar, and then I collapsed to the ground. And then he went inside. I don't know how long it was. I pulled myself up, and I walked through the door, and he was sitting in his chair, where my job was to rub his feet and then scoot to the TV that was about 8 feet away and change the channel. Color TV. My mom had a black and white. That is so cool. And then rub his feet, maybe empty his ashtray, polish his gun that he always had sitting on the coffee table, and pick grenade shrapnel out of his head. Not shrapnel, but pus or something. He had the shrapnel in his head. And that was my jobs. Those were my jobs. And then whenever he had any projects at home, I was the gopher. So I could watch him do things, and he would... that's a different story. Oh, I'm getting good. Different story. Don't mix stories. Oh, wait. One beer. Rogue. Bat Squatch. Kind of like Sat Squatch. It's very, very, very trendy beer. You should drink this beer. Rogue. Bat Squatch. Like and subscribe. Oh, fuck, I hate this. 40 followers. When's it gonna be a tipping point? Somebody's gotta share something. I've watched so many YouTubes. I've never met a motherfucker like me. If I met a motherfucker like me, I would be like, have you heard of this? And off. Stay on target. Stay on target. Pew pew. So I got in, and I was like, just beat, very dazed, and was like, And I forget. I remember, like, it was many hours, but I only remember a couple things from it. I remember being terrified. That's what I mostly remember. Being entirely terrified the entire time. Like, is this it? Is this the end for me? And he renovated his house, and it was all fancy. No, man, it's so fucking ghetto fancy. It was all fancy, and he had this hallway going up with no banister on one side, handrail on the other, but you could fall out. And there was a end table, coffee table with a phone and an answering machine. Very fancy, very fancy answering machine. It had this little cassette in it, and you could leave messages, so it meant you didn't have to answer the phone. This was the first step into a new, brave new world where you didn't have to answer the phone to exist. Before, you had to open letters and answer the phone. And he circumvented it. Yeah, he was a visionary with the answering machine. He had it before. The first person I knew that had an answering machine was Wayne. First person that had like a color TV, I think, too. Wayne. Anyway, so he had this dumb, ugly wall. It was like checkered with mirrors and then corkboard. And then there was a closet and his chair and the end table with this gun. So he's sitting on the end table thinking, probably, I don't know, scheme. I would have to imagine that he's like, gotta teach this boy a lesson. Gotta teach this boy a lesson. Can't beat him, I'll go to jail. Can't shoot him. That won't be teaching him a lesson, he'll be dead. Can't bruise him too bad. I've already knocked him out and beat his head against the pillar. He has long faggot hair, so the bruises won't show. How can I traumatize this motherfucker to the extreme without any marks? So he makes me stand at attention behind this wall. The wall's right here. Cork, mirror, cork, mirror, cork, mirror, cork, mirror, like a chessboard. Some dumb shit. He makes me stand there while he's planning his fucking terrorism. I'm like, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? I know he can't break my nose. I know he can't break my nose because he'll go to jail. Maybe. Probably not. Anyway, I'm standing there and he picks up his gun. Colt Python. 357 Magnum. 6 rounds. This motherfucker doesn't put a hole in you. It blows your head clean the fuck off. And he puts this gun to my head. Pulls back the hammer. Now, I shot this gun. I've shot it. You do this to the trigger. Boom! So he pulls the trigger back and puts his finger on that trigger. And it's like right close to my head. And I'm like, this is confusing. This is definitely not a broken nose. And he says, if you want to go out and get raped by some faggot and do drugs and die, just tell me right now, because I will put you out of your fucking faggot misery. And I said, daddy. I don't remember what the fuck I said. I don't remember anything after that. That's the story. And, people, I've heard, oh, you embellish your stories. There's something like, I have a hard time, actually I don't. I remember weird things. But, these really traumatic things, whenever I hear that you embellish it, I'm like, fuck you, you untraumatized, unempathetic, bleeding heart, whatever, I don't know. Fuck you. Trauma like this, it's not like, after it happened, after I woke up and I don't know what I said, please dad don't kill me or something. You wake up the next day and you're like, Was that a dream? And then you look and I don't know, you feel your fucking fingers and you're like, oh, condom juice. Oh, no, that wasn't a dream. That actually happened. He actually put a gun to my head and did that. And you walk down the stairs for school where you're going to meet John and you're going to be like, John, how's your dog doing? So you walk downstairs and he's sitting at the table with Kim, Jenny, and Kitty and Laura cooking bacon, and you eat your eggs, and your father makes fun of your stepsisters for being fat and having big boobs, and you're like, okay, I'm eating it, and you know, make sure you finish your bacon and your eggs and your fat, meat, and because there's starving people in Africa, you fucking better be grateful. And then you go to school and you're like, everybody knows that you put condoms on this girl's doorknobs. You're like the worst person in the world. But of course you didn't get busted because you're slick. And again, society, you owe me some money. You know, the thing that saved me was art. If it wasn't for art and using art to master my trauma, I would be the most notorious fucking serial killer. I promise you. Rogue, Bat Squatch. Like and subscribe. Vote Patrick McMaster 2024. Donald Trump, he's orange.